What's going on, guys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to another squad builder. Now in today's video we got a new squad builder. In particular, we're going to add some of the new players like Mkhitaryan, Malinka Savage into a team. And you don't have to use these players, but I just wanted to get that Mkhitaryan in because that new Mkhitaryan card, I'll be honest, that new headliner card now as a cam, he looks extremely well. Now we're going to start off in a 4-5-1. I'm of course going to explain to you why each of these players are meta and why I've chosen these players. Now the first card I've actually got on Mkhitaryan. Now this brings me back to FIFA 18 Mkhitaryan. If you remember that card, such a beast at centre mid. Why? It's because he had that 5-star weak foot. This is actually a really good meta top tier card. 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves, high medium. Now when you put a hunter on him, he makes one of the best cams in the game. He can run, he can dribble, he can shoot, he can pass, he can cross, he can do everything that you want an actual cam to do. And of course he has that aggression as well. So it almost makes a perfect cam behind any striker. So he's gone straight into the team. But I wanted to make a hybrid as well. I wanted some other meta players. Some meta players, now I'll be honest, one player that I'm pretty sure all of you know who is meta, that is definitely Rashford. Still one of the best cards in the game, even coming towards team of the year. It's still vouched by many cheap teams. Probably one of the best wingers in the game, and if you're on a cheap budget, someone like Rashford is very good. In order to get him on full chemistry, we're going to push a link of tellers that way. And don't forget, we're going to be playing a different formation in game. This is just for chemistry purposes, so you got a link from tellers to Rashford. Now when we go over to the striker, I wanted to get some key strikers in. We ended up going with Mertens. Now obviously Ronaldo would be the way to go. In fact, I have Ronaldo on my team, and he very much one of the best cards in the game. But unfortunately for this budget, he's way too expensive. But I have him in my team, and I think he's probably one of the best cards I think this year in the game. I don't think there's anyone that really comes close to him. There's only one player I've tested so far, and that is Neymar. But we've gone with Mertens, a more affordable option. If you can afford Ronaldo, then of course be my guess. But of course Dries Mertens definitely gets in the favour. We're going to go with his actual Halloween cards. High, low, 4-star, 4-star, everything you want for a strike. Again, we're going to put a hunter on there, therefore we can maximize the sprint speed. But again, finishing, attack positioning, shot power, agility, balance, everything you need from my ideal striker. In a 4-2-3-1, Mertens is striking, Mkhitaryan behind, make some of the most agile players in your attacking force, especially in bad gameplay. Now moving over to some of the other special cards, we're obviously going to put Malinka Savage in. Another very much, well, I would say his SPC is actually quite his price is actually, to be honest, is a respectable price. I was going to say not overpriced, but I'd say maybe is he worth it. If for example you can get him off chemistry and get him a link to like an icon if you're not going to be playing this squad. But I think he makes a formidable centre mid. 4-star, 4-star. The only downside is that acceleration. Now with a shadow, you don't get plus 15 anymore as you did last year. And of course, Justin, thanks for coming in from that. Don't forget, I do stream on twitch.tv/NealGuides. Of course, if you want to see me, my link is down below for my Twitch stream. But yes, Malinka Savage is a top tier player. You put a shadow on him and he becomes very much a very good attacking CDM. To put someone alongside, we want someone that's quite defensive, and we've gone with the Rodriguez card. We have gone with actually the special Rodriguez card because I think it's the most, I'll be honest, I think it's one of the best cards that money can really buy. In particular, we're talking about Serie, because don't forget, in Serie there isn't that many players. So I'll be honest, apart from Ricardo Rodriguez, you're talking about maybe Cuadrado. Cuadrado is the only player, which I'll show you in a second, that could probably even play in that CDM role, but we'll get onto that in a second. If we put Ricardo Rodriguez in, and don't forget, of course, it's his freeze card as well. It's the freeze card, which is the CDM variation. Very good sprint speed, really good stand tackling and slide tackling, decent agility and balance, and of course very good distribution. So you've got a solid team, a solid base, especially from the midfield, and that is based in midfield and Czech. Now the only benefit of Serie is that they have very good defense. We're going to go ahead and put Lozano in on the right hand side. Of course you can use another card if you want to, but having Lozano, you can go for the 86, but we're going to go with 85 just because it's a tad bit more on the affordable option, and I think this is the better value as opposed to going for the 85. And if we finish it off with the back line, now we've gone with Cuadrado. There's one thing I want to say, an honorable mention. If you can afford this Cuadrado over here, not this one over here, this Cuadrado, it might be one of the best players I have used this year. This 84 Cuadrado is actually, I'm not even joking, the best player I think I've used all year. I don't think anyone really comes in comparison to him. I'm thinking at the most, there's only one player. In fact, why is he not showing up? I actually have him in my team, but I don't think there's anyone that's even better than him. I'm not even joking. I think maybe, I think the only people that are actually better than him in CDM and in centre back potentially Mkhitaryan, but when you get this guy on full chemistry, probably is potentially one of the best centre backs in the game. But if you can't afford him, of course you can go with a gold. Cuadrado is not a big end of the world. You can definitely go with the gold Cuadrado, but I'm definitely putting that one in because he's one of the best centre backs in the game. We're also going to go with another freeze card, that is Gosens. I think that's how you say his name. Gosens, another top tier card. He is a tad bit on the short side, but I think his pace does make up for it. And let's be honest, most of the pace nowadays, it's not the end of the world in terms of defending stats. As long as you got that pace, you're completely fine. And height, yeah, he's 6 foot, but let's be honest, most crosses are driven crosses, I would say around chest height, as opposed to, I would say, ground level. So Gosens definitely goes into that team. We end up going with the best goalkeeper in Serie A, that is Handanovic. There was anyone really that's better than him. He has the presence, the physical presence in terms of the height. And also, more importantly than anything else, he has good reflexes, good position, which is the most important thing, and he's 6'4". You can argue Szczesny's a bit of a cheaper option, but I think it's probably the most solid goalkeeper that I've used. Another top tier centre back, very much underrated, and this is one of the only benefits of Serie A, because they've got so much of these cheap OP players. 82 speed, or 82 pace, should I say, but some 83 sprint speed on Manolas, and of course, it's got that very good defensive stat. So you got basically a complete brick centre back. Got the balance of physicality and defense and pace. You got 2 very extremely fast left back and right backs, 2 meta wingers, 2 top tier 1 CDM, which is very, very good, and we've got 1 dynamic player, a 5-star weak foot cam, and a 4-star 4-star. So how does it really look like in game? Well, this would be like for chemistry purposes, and what would happen is when you put a Serie A manager, so what you want to do here is you want to go ahead and you put a Serie A manager. It doesn't really matter too much about that. Go ahead and put Serie A, and what happens is that all the players from the Serie A, that is Rodriguez and Manolas, they get 8 chemistry each, and that's what it looks like. It ends up becoming a very much amazing team. Now, if you're going to be playing a 4-2-3-1, which is the way that ideally I would say this, I'll say Mkhitaryan there, obviously 2 OP wingers on either side, and Savage and Rodriguez, of course, in CDM. We're playing a 4-4-2, almost the exact same thing. Now, I would probably go ahead and I would say go as far as putting Mkhitaryan in the striker, because he can play there with a Hunter, especially with that 5-star, 5-star. In terms of the chemistry style for the centre backs, you can just go with Sentinel. I would say Shadow, and Lozano, you can go with Finisher. Just for the simple fact, I do think pace is probably at the forefront. If we're going to be playing a 3-5-2, which is another formation I've been using a lot, probably the formation I'm using a lot of the time. Now, this is where I think the formation will really excel. What I would say is the Cuadrado card. Now, if you got that special Cuadrado card, is worth putting him on the wing. If you haven't got that card, what you can do simply something like that, and then what you can do is you can put either Mkhitaryan in the camp, or you can put Rashford there. It is completely up to you, anyone with that variation. And if you're playing a 4-1-2-1-2 second variation, you can do the exact same thing, except for this time in a 4-1-2-1-2 second variation, I'll say Rashford in striker, Malinka Savage, of course, in the right centre mid. And then what you can actually do is you can actually put Lozano as kind of like an attacking left centre mid, and that's how you can play in the 4-1-2-1-2 second variation. And if you're going to be playing some of the new unique formations, you might have seen some people playing the 4-3-3 on my 4-3-3 false 9 variation. If you're going to be playing the 4-3-3, then very simply in any form of that matter, you can put both the defensive players over there, attacking cam over there, Lozano and Rashford in the wing, and of course Merton goes in striker. But anyway, that's just kind of a cheap Serie A team. Let me know if you want to see more of these teams with some of these special cards. I think, you know what, there's so many special cards that are available, and I thought, you know what, why not use them? There's so many of them available, you might as well just use them. And I thought it might be fun making a quick squad build like this, as opposed to, you know, making the complete deep line meta, the typical Ben Yedder, Neymar, Kante, Rashford, Son. You know what I'm talking about, but at least this way we've got a wide variety of different players. I think it gives a bit of a choice. But thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.